of our local tournaments and all of the greater area tournaments posted in the announcements channels so that you're always kept up to date on the tournaments that we're hosting. Support your local scene, and for those of you watching that have never been to a tournament, if there are any of you watching, by all means, go to a tournament, man. Don't be afraid to go. We're all very friendly. We're all teaching each other how to play the game better. If you go to a tournament, expect to lose the first time you go, and that's fine, and that's normal. But the goal is to get better. Talk to your opponents. They'll be more than happy to tell you what they were able to read, what your bad habits are, how you can improve. We all have a good time. It's a great way to meet new friends.
My first tournament was years and years ago. I think it was like, I want to say like 8 years ago at this point. Maybe 7, maybe 6, something like that. Somewhere between 6 to 8 years ago. Anyway, first tournament, I was watching like Evo and stuff, and I was like, this is so sick. I want to go to a tournament. So I like went on Smash Boards at the time, and I was like, what's my nearest tournament? And at the time it was Orbitar, like not Protostar, but Orbitar, like old Orbitar. And but my mom wouldn't let me go to that. So, but the other tournament was Super Smash Clash, ran by Sklobo.
Okay.
And I was looking at the VODs, and I was like, Grand Finals with a Sheik and a Donkey Kong? That looks so free. So then I went there, and I was like, I'm going to win this tournament, because it's a Sheik and like, I play Sheik. I can beat a Donkey Kong. That's easy. And then I lost round 1 to Fuzzio the Yoshi. And that was like the hardest I'd ever lost in my life. So it's like, it's fun. Your first loss is so fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, doubles.
Here we go, finally.
Finally,
the
loser
Pokepen
semis. Steve, has that been happening?
No, it hasn't happened.
That's awesome.
Pokepen started with Aegis, swapped out to Bayonetta for a really significant portion of the bracket, and then just recently went back to Aegis but lost, putting the two of them in loser's bracket, and now suddenly is pulling Steve out for the first time this bracket. I don't know what that's about. I'm not familiar with Pokepen's Steve.
I mean, his Steve is good. So his Steve is
nice
pretty unconventional, I'd say most would say. He's more of a I will swing at you, Steve, more than I will sit here and get resources, Steve. Though, in doubles, part of the reason that Steve is so strong is the fact that, like, JoJo can just be fighting both players at once, and that just gives Pokepen such a big opportunity to get as many resources as possible, and especially since he's like a swinging kind of Steve. If he gets Diamond, it can be deadly for the other team.
No, that's just great. Like, Steve being one of the few characters that can really capitalize. I don't know what that was about. Just anviling your own TNT.
A little bit, all good.
Pretty odd, but did just pick up the Diamond.
Oh,
so I'm assuming we'll see that coming out very shortly. Interesting kind of situation here. I was going to say that things were sort of even, but I think that's what Snickeldorf playing?
Game & Watch.
Game & Watch, yeah. Not a great position for him to be in. Adam doing his best to kind of hold out Yoshi, but then gets spiked as I say that.
JoJo's awareness as Incineroar is so good.
He's wild.
He's really good. And I mean, as Incineroar, you have to be able to find those openings that your teammates give you. I know West, like Jake, oh my god, I want to call him Jake West so bad. West also does something very similar with Incineroar, where he'll kind of be in a spot where if anybody is sent near him, he'll be able to convert off it. And JoJo kind of doing a very similar thing here. It's working out very well. Pokepen now has diamonds.
Spikes into the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, there's only so much that you can do against that, especially as the one going up against an Incineroar. If he's going to pull out that Alolan Whip, you got to watch out for it. If he's going to Darkness Lariat, you got to watch out for that. It's not a great position to be in. And Pokepen just on the other side of the wall trying to figure out what he wanted to do. A beautiful back air from JoJo, but not enough to clean out the stock.
And one thing from Pokepen, I think I mean, I don't want to say he's doing too much minecart, but he's doing a lot of minecart, more than a lot of other moves. And
wow. What is happening?
Okay, it worked there, but there were a lot of minecart more than other moves, which is surprising. I'm not used to seeing that from Steve. Minecart more than Anvil, minecart more than like TNT, more than even like, you know, other normals and such, but it was effective, like I said.
I mean, you know, if it works, it works.
If it works, it works. And Steve in doubles can be so, like, you can play so not normal.
Oh,
and it
for
can,
sure.
It can pay off really well.
I mean, Steve's one of the characters that, like, gets away with playing not quote-unquote normally.
Definitely.
Because Steve is such a an abnormal character in terms of his movement, his kit, his goals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens in game 2 here.
I saw Snickeldorf hovering the snake, I think, thinking about a character switch. He does have a snake. He has actually a variety of characters, so the snake is definitely his, like, main secondary. I mean, honestly, last game was, like, close enough to where I feel like the game plan doesn't have to change. I don't mind the call of staying Game & Watch here.
Absolutely. No, I mean, Game & Watch, you know, another character that is one of the types of characters in this game that there is no normal for Game & Watch. He's all jank.
Definitely.
And that's coming from a former Game & Watch main. And that's, you know, the most fun.
Yeah.
So pokepen just kind of mining on the side of the screen while Adam and Snickeldorf take care of JoJo. I don't know what's going on here, but it seems like there's a little bit of a kind of a team just disjoint right now.
Yeah, I mean, it, like I said, it doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily have to do the 2v2 when you have this team comp in particular, because Incineroar is heavy. He doesn't necessarily have to worry about dying to the 2v1 as much, which gives Steve enough time to get Diamond in the first 1 minute.
Yeah, but
so,
like,
I mean,
he didn't use the Diamond last match. I think finally just pulled it out, but like
he did it in the last stock, yeah.
Kind of a weird situation. You know, fairly even game at the moment. Really could be anyone's to pull the lead out here, especially with Adam kind of, you know, sniffing for those kills with Yoshi. Finally going to take JoJo down to his final stock.
That what? Was that off the top?
Yes,
was that fair off the top? I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah, pretty neat, honestly. Kind of a weird position right now.
We're seeing pokepen spamming those back airs, but it's so threatening even mid-stage when you have Diamond against, well, against honestly both of these characters. Game & Watch especially though at high percent here.
Oh yeah.
And one thing I am noticing pattern-wise is Pokepen seems to be trying to cover Snickeldorf and vice versa, while Adam kind of tries to cover JoJo here. And it's kind of working. I kind of like that idea because I feel like Yoshi can kind of combo Incineroar a good amount while Steve can kind of kill Game & Watch. I do like that plan from both teams there.
Steve did just kill Yoshi, so like obviously they're totally fine with trading off their responsibilities. So to speak.
for sure. And you kind of have to be ready to just like switch your game plan on a moment's notice because of how chaotic doubles is.
Oh, no doubt.
Definitely a valuable skill to have.
Yeah. Not really certain what pokepen is doing with the minecart, kind of throwing his opponents into his teammate.
I mean, we saw it kill. We saw it end the last game. It's like, it's an interesting strategy. I don't necessarily know how on purpose it is, but...
Yeah, and I think twice there, JoJo nearly bit the dust. But an up smash is going to take out Snickeldorf. Now it's all up to Adam at kill percent.
Yeah.
And
living Yoshi's pretty heavy.
Yeah, not enough to take him out.
And Pokepen, we saw kind of just get out of there as soon as possible. They kind of had to switch teammates there. Pokepen had to kind of retreat while Jonas had to kind of stop by and take over. But this damage is racking up. JoJo's at such a low percent. It's looking a bit doomed. But Yoshi and Adam can rack up damage really fast with these combos. JoJo already at 61. It's definitely doable. Steve's super duper at kill percent. It's just a matter of can you get the kill.
It's a hell of a mountain to climb, but he's doing a great job of like really working around what his opponents are doing just on the fly. Even in these positions where couldn't even get the sentence out of my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like I said, like you said, there's a huge mountain to climb there. But Adam honestly was doing a good job of kind of forcing the 1v1s and being threatening enough to Pokepen a lot of the time, to where Pokepen couldn't really challenge without being in danger. Because again, Pokepen was at really high kill percent. I like the way Adam played that. it just came down to a single back air from pokepen.
Oh yeah, and really shows Adam's mastery of Yoshi's movement and kit.
Definitely.
To be able to survive that long in a 2v1 and really like did his best to bring it back.
The Cloud instead of the Steve.
Yeah, that's an interesting change up, especially considering that pokepen was doing just fine with the Steve so far, at least I think.
I'd say so, definitely. Pokepen, obviously.
They did win the first 2 matches. Like
yeah. I mean, his kind of brand at this point is playing a million different characters. Cloud being one of them. Cloud actually being one of his main ones, I want to say, back in Smash 4 especially. But, I mean, a very good character, honestly. I'd say in these matchups against Yoshi and Game & Watch in particular. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like, Cloud, just a very strong character, has been ever since his introduction in Smash 4.
Definitely.
Not much to say there. He's a sortie that can swing big. That's just what Cloud does.
And I feel like pokepen, that's kind of what pokepen was doing in those first 2 games with Steve, funny enough. I think Steve and Cloud, kind of the way pokepen plays, honestly have some similarities. You can kind of force approaches with that limit.
Very, very true.
Blue team being the lead for the first time this set, I believe.
Very strong, yeah. Taking out both pokepen and JoJo at the same time there. Very impressive, but both at kill percent. JoJo sending them across the stage instead of faking them out. I think that was intentional, obviously, because you can only grab one of them. But Snickeldorf losing his first stock and Adam shortly following thereafter.
And Snickeldorf, something he's been doing more recently is going for those 9s. We saw it there. It didn't quite work out, but that would have been a huge lead for Blue Team. The thing is, it's such low risk because of how low percent Snickeldorf currently is. The side B not quite hitting. That could have killed, honestly.
It really could have, yeah. Especially when you consider the fact that Game & Watch is just as light as he is.
Definitely.
And Adam, unfortunately, up-airing his teammate there. Little unfortunate, but, I would love to see a 9. Please, Snickeldorf, I'm rooting for you.
It's possible. He already has one prepped since he didn't get it last time. It's definitely doable. Pokepen running up and up smashing, trying to get some kind of kill there. I don't mind it.
Doing his best.
Definitely.
Trying to get some of those up air combos going with Game & Watch, but not really able to find it out. I have noticed that Snickeldorf seems to be getting a lot of berries.
Definitely, and it's... Oh, that's going to be a trade on the side of Red Team, but to Red Team's own kind of demise here, potentially. JoJo now in his last stock while Pokepen's dead. That was an insane game from Snickeldorf, finding that opening.
And great patience from Snickeldorf to trying to sneak out some hits against JoJo while he was trying to roll and whip Adam.
And I think it's interesting how, like, I think all 3 games so far, the team that gets the first stock or 2 seems to just kind of be able to super snowball that. It could be, it could be the change in characters, we don't know. But good stuff on the side of Blue Team, showing some signs of life. It was best of 3.
so I just heard them. JoJo was like, we'll just say it's 2-1 and not say what order happened. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
So doubles is just best of 3 across the board, or are we doing best of 5?
Oh no.